gentlemen, as promised, a follow-up video. The last one that I put up here on Kadred, thanks to Richard Lewis, was the talking about the movement and how we can all work together to help get our points across to the devs. And well, the patch was released. We're all good. The stamina was fixed quite a bit, which actually, before I ramble on too long, I want to jump right into game here and show you guys what I mean by that. Let's get the volume back on. So before the issue we were having was freedom of movement was really nothing special. I mean, like, you couldn't get around. After a couple bunny hops, you would just kind of stick to the ground. They've changed the way the stamina works just a little bit, kind of with the help of me, PR, and Jedi, and really come out with something I think works. There's a couple issues I still see in the movement that really need to be addressed to be a competitively viable game, and I'm going to address those right now with you. Keep in mind this is going to be a short little video, so any further feedback you guys would like to see, I will be out of town until Monday, this upcoming Monday. Yeah, I'll be at PAX East until then, but feel free to still email me. I'll find those and I'll come back with another video. But anyway, back to the game here. So let's look at the first one's going to be the crouching. Crouching's the biggest deal to me right now because the freedom of movement feels right. Like, you can kind of bunny hop around a little bit. They're right now, just a little bit of info on what they're thinking. The air acceleration from your previous iterations of Counter-Strike does not work as it used to, and they've got a coder right now trying to track down and figure out exactly, you know, where it went. It's still there. It's just a matter of, does it really affect things as it should? And hopefully that will mean that it's going to get fixed. Obviously, there's no promises with that. It's they're doing their best as they can with the engine they were given, and so far I think they're doing a pretty phenomenal job. You can see that there's quite a bit of acceleration. You can't control your character to the extremes that I think are necessary for the freedom movement, but that's okay. You know, like, I'm willing to settle. But one of the issues that I see is, let's say that I want to, like, for example, in 1.6, to use it as an example, I could jump off this and come right back around and land back on that due to strafe jumping. Well, currently, if you try to turn too sharp of an angle, it's really, like, you kind of lose control of your character and you float in the air for a second. That's one thing that the air acceleration is going to help out with, along with a little bit faster cap on the bunny hopping, but not much faster than it is now. I feel that it's pretty quick if you do it correctly. It's just something you have to get a little bit used to. It's not identical to 1.6, but it's pretty darn close. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be the crouching, which I think I just mentioned a little bit ago and kind of got off on a tangent. The crouching right now, they weren't completely aware of. It was an issue. Here's the problem. I had brought up that, look, you know, the recoil patterns, which, by the way, the recoil patterns are being looked at also once again to get something a little more simple to learn. Something that's actually learnable, not massively changing directions. So, you know, once again, no promises. These are all things that are just going to be tested out. But for now, the crouching, he said, you just need to crouch more. I mean, for now, that's what we've got to deal with and see if that's a viable option. Well, I then explained that we feel stuck when we crouch. And the reason behind that is it takes a very long time to crouch. You'll notice how long it takes me. Like, it takes, like, you see you don't get the full effect of the crouch till you hit the bottom there. So it's just very, very slow. And along with that, to get up from the crouch takes a bit. So I'm crouched, and I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to try to move. You're slowed down for quite some time. You're slowed down for quite some time before you can actually move again, which I think is a major pain. Because once you're crouched, you're pretty much committed to that crouch if they rush you. You don't have the option of getting up and trying to get out of the way. The acceleration and or the accelerate and the friction commands that I had suggested were 5 and 5. They're going to test this and work with it. The reason I did 5 friction over 4 is that the system has changed quite a bit. Once again, with the other iterations on this engine, things like Portal 2 and Left 4 Dead were also made on the same engine. So the friction was changed just a bit, I think, on how it works, because 5 and 5 feels right. So you'll see there accelerate 5 and friction 5 also. The only issue I see with that, there's going to have to be another CVAR to control how fast you move when you crouch, because with 5 and 5, if you just move one way or the other, you'll notice it's very slow. Like, I'm literally holding nothing but crouch and strafe right, and it is very slow, and that's just due to the friction being almost the same as the accelerate. If I change the friction here to 4, it's still pretty darn slow. But I get up there eventually and can move. It's just something that'll have to be tweaked. Once again, this is a beta. We expect things like this. I'm just glad to see that it's moving forward. This was a huge leap for the game, and I hope the community is going to be happy with this, because I know that they worked pretty darn hard to get it here. And once again, I just want to say that for the people out there saying Valve's not listening and HPE's not listening, sure looks like they are. But that'll be it for today, guys. I cannot thank you guys enough once again for the feedback. Hundreds and hundreds of emails I've gotten from the European community so far, just stating what they think about the game and what they'd like me to make videos about and try to give feedback to the devs about. The more support, the better, guys. Thank you so much for it. I also want to briefly mention, again, that I will be out of town from Wednesday to Monday at PAX East in Boston. I will not be back home till Monday night, possibly even not available till Tuesday. However, during that time, I will be trying to respond to some emails on my downtime and on the flight and things like that. So expect to hear back from me if you have given me some feedback. If you haven't given me feedback yet, feedback@whisenhunt.tv. And don't forget, every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do go live with Choke Point, where we talk about the future of Counter-Strike, Tribes Ascend, Quake. We talk about a lot of different FPS. It's kind of like the state of the game for FPS. We got around 4,000 concurrent viewers Sunday, so thanks to all of you guys that tuned in. I was looking at the stats, and it looks like we did have some guys from over the pond. So once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you with the next video. Hopefully, we'll see you Sunday with Choke Point.